Drake can't be Drake forever. Think about that. As black people, we was dying to see Drake fucking lose a battle. Think about that. Not me personally, but as black people, look how many people jumped on board. The minor ain't nothing came about that nigga fucking with no kids or nothing, man. So, but you can have a whole arena singing that shit. Yeah. And it's probably a minor. Ain't none of that came out. He's supposed to have a fake baby on the side. Ain't none of that came out. So black people run with the lie faster than they'll run with the truth, long as it's up to bringing a nigga down. You feel me?
Shit, you know, we don't play about shit like that. Like,
so,
especially,
you know what I mean? But that's just the reality of it, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the reality of it. Motherfuckers put smut on your name, and if whether it's right, wrong, indifferent, it don't matter. It's people on social media love a beautiful lie. They love a beautiful lie. I could make up some shit right now, and it had no truth to it. And it don't matter. Gilly said it. It gotta be somewhat true. Niggas don't give a fuck, man. So.
Yeah, man. Step into the mic check 1, 2. Hit a lick 3, 4 straight shots, 3 a dub. With the whip slinging house, taking toes. Don't tell him what you know. Oh, man. Don't tell him what you know. Oh, man. Salute to the king, salute to the Ville. Y'all see the theme today. Y'all see the theme today, man. Drop a like, drop a comment. Litty Reacts. Listen, Gilly, man. Gilly, what happened, man? What happened to all of y'all? Like, what happened to all of y'all? Gilly, you should be the first one to be parading Kendrick for what he did to Drake. You said we as a black people wanted to see Drake fall. How? How did we want to see Drake fall? He was on top for almost over 15 years. How did we want to see Drake fall? We literally uplifted this plant. We put him up there, even though we knew he was a plant. Even though we knew he was Milli Vanilla. Like, we really knew that. We already knew that. We knew he was Jimmy in the wheelchair. We knew that he was the corny kid that was rapping on Fuckmaster Flex. We knew that. But he was fire. He was fire. And then the story started coming out. The story started coming out of him being a lummy and, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes with his own peoples. He slept with Lil Wayne's girl. Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you think, because remember back in the day when you were sitting there and you wrote for Lil Wayne, that was the claim, right? Didn't you sit there and release a whole Canon freestyle? Remember the Canon freestyle where you sat there and said, you know what I'm saying? That was probably one of your hottest things when you went back and forth with Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne didn't even want to answer you, bro. You were sitting there, you were so mad because they left you at the Greyhound stop. Remember that? And now you listen, you came up with $1 million worth of game, one of the toughest podcasts, but what are y'all doing now? What are you and Wallow doing now? Salute to Fetty Wap, but what are y'all doing now? You've become a whole clown, a caricature, bro. You become a whole caricature in this culture, bro. Another joke, another person that we, you know what I'm saying, we thought, because back in the day you had the long tees and you were sitting there talking, you were talking that heavy talk, and we thought, yo, he wrote for Lil Wayne, the guy that raps from the head, the top of his dome. Like, oh damn, we didn't even know that shit was new to us. Oh shit, it was like finding out wrestling was fake. You exposed that. There was rumblings, but you exposed that. You went on a whole tour off of that. And it didn't work. Lil Wayne still became probably top 5 rappers alive. And at the time, let's give it to him. And then he handed and passed off the torch to Nicki and Drake. So without that cosign, there would be no Aubrey. We wouldn't sit here and fuck with Aubrey. No matter how many tough songs that guy dropped, it was all Cash Money behind him. Remember, he was on Young Money. They presented a whole rollout. They did a whole rollout. And you talk about there's no claims. Bro, it's all over the internet. Look at my channel. I literally have done a whole compilations of him kissing 17-year-old girls on stage after finding out they 17. He did a whole tour run where he was doing that on stage across the... Bro, the age of consent in Canada is not what... Like, so you would let Drake sleep with your 15-year-old daughter? 14-year-old daughter, 16-year-old daughter, 17-year-old daughter. You gonna let her? You gonna sit here and let him do that? You gonna give up your daughter, to Drake because he's Aubrey? We ain't ever want to see him lose. He could have bowed out gracefully. Are you gonna say the same thing about T-Pain when T-Pain had to when Jay-Z dropped what he dropped and fucked up all of T-Pain? T-Pain was dropping hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. They don't give him none of his flowers. They don't give him none of that shit. But we gave it to Milli Vanilli. He had his run. It was getting tired. Him taking other people's flows, it was getting tired. Him taking other people's girls and then playing in people's faces, it was getting tired. Kanye exposed it. Other rappers exposed it. Just the best one to do it, was Kendrick. Before that, Pusha T got stopped. He got stopped by the labels because Drake had enough pull at the time. But when you give it enough time, and you start to see Drake's stock falling, you can't get mad for somebody being calculated and coming out with Euphoria and sitting there flipping the whole narrative. Because all of us sat there and said, drop it, give me 50. And we thought, oh my God, we gonna see another Drake run. Nope. When you saw Euphoria, it brought everything back into the fold. All the things we heard and we seen with our own eyes, and heard with our own ears. We seen these things. So there was no sitting there. Now that somebody's saying it and it's not no Jay-Z subliminals, yeah, guess what? It starts to downfall. Instead of, you know why nothing stuck? Because he's been sitting there. He posted a lawsuit, against the industry. We fucked up the whole rap industry. Everybody stopped dropping the way that they were dropping. And then, bro, he dropped like 300,000 records that nobody gives a fuck about. He dropped a fake ass rollout that literally nothing happened with that because he lost the lawsuit. He's in a current appeal. He is a lame. And you trying to just, we can all see, yo, Gilly, you falling off, gang. You just trying to get that Drake interview. I see it, gang. I already see it, bro. And I don't understand how much you willing to sell yourself for a piece of change off a fucking lame bitch. Oh man. Step into the mic check 1 2, hit a lick 3 4 straight shots through your door. With the whip slinging house, tagging toes. Don't tell him what you know. Don't tell him what you know.